feel like the violence takes place then.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
No. See, this is my thing. Because I deal with the criminal system, and I started off, my very first externship was in juvenile detention, and I saw the way that these kids are kind of like railroaded into this. So it's like there's a lot of psychological damage that I think that we don't account for. The psychological damage can turn you into that person that's feels like you're on guard 24/7, or feel like you have to do something in your neighborhood to battle it. And like I said, all of this stuff is systemic. And I'm saying that poverty is a disease. Poverty is a crisis that a lot of people are in. And when you're in that type of crisis, no matter what, see, people focus on Black people because I know we're Black, but no matter what impoverished community in the world you're in, it's all the same, because that's what poverty does. So 80% of the people that are in jail are in there because of poverty crimes. Even if it's a drug crime, it's being stressed, being depressed because of poverty. You see what I'm saying? It's all going back to that. So it's like they're going to get so you're psychologically damaged in that point. Like you can't even make it to, you have to be able to be healthy enough to cognitively make that decision that I'm not going to do this. But everything that's been going on, especially because we start them off so early, they start socializing these young boys early to think that. And that's why, like I said, I do the Future Lawyers Camp, because these kids that are 10 are going to be 20. And the cute 10-year-olds that they see are going to become dangerous Black men that they see. They tell me to my face that when they see a Black man walk, that they are scared. They tell me to my face that when they see a group of men together, which is an old law that they had during slavery, that Black people could not be together, they told me that when they see that, they're afraid. So they have socialized us to feel like, oh. You can go ahead and talk. Let me do this real quick.
I'm just worried about, and I'm not concerned, like, okay, I get all that, but how do we stop us from doing these things?
But that's what I'm saying. You saying how do we stop? So I look at it as a domino effect. We can't look at the last domino. We can't look at the last domino of a million dominoes and say, why did you fall, domino? We can't do that.
I get that. But like, the problem is life. It's almost like, how can I say, life is tough, right? And people don't generally care. What they care about is you making it at that moment. And unfortunately, life is not always forgiving. And so, I don't know. Maybe I have to come on another call. Maybe I need to get myself together and meditate. I'm actually going to meet a comrade of mine right now. He's really like on the tip you on. He's really on that. Like, so we're about to argue for the next hour or so. So maybe I have to come back and meditate on these things. I think some of my friends watching this right now. I would love to come educate me, because I just, it's hard for me to see it that way at this point. When you see the amount of killings that take place, there's no reason why in St. Louis, the young 18-year-old boy killed the next door neighbor, I think the daughter of the next door neighbor, and someone else. To me, there's no reason for that. There's no systemic. I'm sorry.
Well, like I said, you got to understand causes and effects. Nothing can happen without a cause. Like, stuff doesn't just happen. You know what I'm saying? So, and the thing is that everything has a gestation period. So if seeds are planted for stuff, for violence and for generational poverty and things like that, it's gonna come when it comes. But you can't forget, why did it start? And this is my thing. I like to focus on positive solutions on how can we fix it. Like, I have people, I'm from St. Louis, so I know a lot of people that have been killed because of gun violence and things like that. Almost all of them were somebody trying to get money. Somebody didn't have money and they were trying to get it. That's what I'm saying. You're putting people in a position where the only way that they feel like they can get it is that way. Because when they go to school, they told them that they can't be nothing at school. They suspend them. They expel them. Black people are suspended, I think, 90% more and expelled than others. Like, I didn't have that problem, but other people do. And I'm very cognizant of what's the reality. I'm very, very cognizant of that. Like, it's some of the smartest people in the world that were never given the opportunity. You know, you have to give people the opportunity to become something. If you don't give them that opportunity, then they're going to fall, especially when you're in a system. Now, if you were given everything, it would be different if you said, Tasha, all these boys is given everything. They got all the money. They got all the support. They got love. They got family. They got homes. They got cars. And still, that's not our community. That's not our community. That may be somebody else's community, but that's not our community. So that's why I know the systemic problems and the systemic causes of police brutality and of violence within our community. But go ahead and talk to your friend. I'm gonna try to get somebody else on here.
Thank you for allowing me to come on. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye. All right. Okay, so the question is, can police brutality stop? Okay, so she said, B. Shell said, police brutality will stop when, hi, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Good. So police brutality will stop when we focus on the source. Okay, I agree with that. And that's what I'm saying. I believe that people focus on the wrong things. And that's why when people see police brutality, they say, let's give the police more money. Absolutely not. That's not going to solve it. We've been giving police more money since the 80s. It doesn't work. It doesn't help. What do you think?
I think it's exactly what you said. We have to, they have to invest more in resources as far as the main things that affect our community. So we need to look into what is affecting our students in school. And start there and start to provide resources to cater to that. Come to our communities and meet with people in our communities and say, like, hey, what's going on? To speak to some of our people, like, be more present. Don't just go by the stereotype that you have been taught, from your parents. Get to know some of these students, some of these kids that you think are bad. Have a conversation with them and see, what do you think? And see what they think. And then start some type of community organization that helps, or start some type of community organization where they would feel more open and more inclined to speak to them, Like, I feel like if I had, or if my son had someone that he could trust more, or, and he could open up, more to, then it would be a little bit more, he would be more inclined to open up to them. Or if it was more resources, more cards, more mental health things, more, things tailored to our community instead of telling us, let's figure out a law so we can stop them from wearing braids or from wearing dreadlocks. When it comes to our kids, they focus on the wrong things. They're trying to figure out how they can stop us from wearing certain hairstyles to school. When they should be focusing on other things,
Sad. That's so true. When they see our kids, when I see our kids, I see kids. That's what I see. When they see our kids, they see danger, they see problems, they see this and that, and it's a system of white supremacy. And somebody said you have to teach them tactics for it not to get to that point, and that's the problem. If parents and families don't have support, how can they teach tactics of certain things? Like, I'm gonna say this: my mama was an RN, and she had to work 16-hour days to make sure that we had money. So if my mama working 16-hour days and she don't have support, like we have support with family and grandparents and things, but how can people do that? And that's why I hate the notion that that's kind of like parents aren't doing what they're supposed to do, but the parents aren't getting any support.
And my parents the same way. My mom worked 3 jobs to take care of us, and my dad worked 1 job, but he worked a lot. So how do they know? Some things that their parents didn't know. That's why the Bible says people die from lack of knowledge. So I think providing more knowledge in our community, more resources, even when it comes to veterans. Our Black veterans don't get the same privileges as some of these white veterans, okay?
Right.
So I'm sorry, it's just point blank period. We don't know about mental health courts. They don't tell us that. They don't tell us, about IEPs and stuff like that in school. It's just so much stuff that they don't tell us. So it's the lack of knowledge.
That's what I think. I think it's the lack of knowledge too. Like when he was saying, some people say that they want more police. It's just because they were told that that's how we solve it, but it's not. So it's like that is a lack of knowledge. But if we had the knowledge of, hey, if we solve all of these issues, sorry about that, my phone was tripping. But if we solve all of these issues, then this won't happen to us anymore. And this is my thing when it comes to police brutality. I don't think that reform will work. I don't think that we can reform the police to do what we need them to do. And I think that, yeah. And I think that police brutality would end. Yeah. It's just too much. And the distrust in the community, like it's at an all-time high. And it as it should be, because the government has been using the law against us for so long. Why would we agree with it? Why would we agree with the way that they choose to enforce it? The other thing is they only enforce it when they want. So with other people, they can do crimes, they can do this. I have this whole video called "Crime is a Myth," because what people consider to be crimes is very selective. And even the titles of certain crimes, like you'll have a robbery where you could steal $100, but then you'll have embezzlement where you could steal millions of dollars, and they made that a white collar crime, and they made this. Yeah. So it's like, what is crime? So I have this whole thing called "Crime is a Myth" because it's something that they created and they only enforce for certain things. So the way that they approach people who are accused of crimes, the automatic assumption of guilt, the ascription of intelligence that they put on white people at work, and you know how they try to downplay our intelligence at work. All of these things, right? Racism is one of the biggest issues we have, and people, it's a crime. Like, you cannot be racist in this country. You cannot discriminate based on race, but people keep doing it. And that's what I'm saying. That's why crime is a myth. That's a crime, and they don't enforce that.
We don't use the resources in place. We don't know about EEO, stuff like that. It goes back to knowledge again.
And then even if you know about it, these judges ain't enforcing it. The judges have to enforce it when we tell them, hey, judge, this was racist. I know that they did not call me the N-word. However, they did X, Y, and Z, and they continuously pushed me down. They continuously promoted others, and they treated me like that for 5 years or 6 years or 10 years. And it's because of my race. The judges say, where's the N-word?
Right. And he'll dismiss it as if it's nothing. But then we'll get so discouraged and mad because we know that we've been discriminated upon. We won't pursue it. We'll just say, you know what? They're not going to do nothing anyway. And see, that's the thing. We give up too fast. We need to start having more knowledge to know that we have more fight in us.
See, that's the biggest thing. That's why when people say that it can't be stopped, and people say that this is the way it is, it's really saying I don't want to do the work. I don't want to keep pursuing it. And that's why I always do, like, I literally do stuff 24 hours a day. I'm talking about whether it's pro bono work, whether it's teaching, whether it's doing the talk, my future lawyers camp that we raise the money for today, everything that we can do, I believe that we can change it. However, if we do nothing and we accept, that's when stuff will never change. We can't accept this. Oh, and that's the other thing. We have to resist in legal ways. Legal resistance is a way.
And our parents are already working all day to pay the bills. Now they got to use money to help us to pay for a lawyer for what? And then we get charged excessive retainer, excessive legal fees, like excessive, like $10,000 for misdemeanor, whereas it white people $2,000 or $3,000. It's like, and it's just a huge disadvantage for the same thing. Even with the court-appointed attorneys, they give us the sorry ones that don't want to put in the work, they don't care, they don't want to stand up to the prosecutor and don't want to fight for us. So they give us the sorry ones. They know, everybody knows what court got the sorry public defenders, and they know who to give who to, you know? So it's just, the system is messed up for us all around. And I will be donating to you. I screenshot it.
Oh, yay. Thank you. Yeah, it's going directly to suits for the kids, t-shirts. And I formed this because when I was in law school, all of my counterparts had suits and were doing court. And I'm like, why? But I know why. They can't give us, they wasn't trying to give us those type of opportunities. We had to go take them. I mean, they're taking out music in schools. They're taking out all of these different things in our schools specifically. And it's just because kids need that stuff. I mean, I played instruments. I played sports. Like, I did all of these things. And I went to college and played sports and played the violin still. And this type of stuff is mind exercise. It's mental exercise. And then when I'm in college preparing to be a lawyer, people are telling me, you need to get off this black stuff. You don't need to talk about this stuff. This is going to mess your career up. Everybody's telling me that. On top of that, they're telling me I can't see you as a lawyer because the image of a lawyer is not me. But I am a lawyer. You see what I'm saying? But
you change that narrative, though, and that's what we got to do for America. We got to change the narrative. We got to change their norm. We got to make our own norms.
That's the biggest thing.
You a lawyer. You deal with God called you to do, and now that's your norm. That's the new norm now, and that's the thing. We can't go by their narrative of who we should be and what we should be. We got to know what God called us to do. And best to believe, it's going to be opposition, even from us. You know, like Tamika Mallory say, all skin folks ain't kin folks, you know. So it's just a lot. We just have to keep pressing forward and doing what we believe to be is right to help each other.
Yep. Somebody said they prey on us economic disparity. We need to mobilize and raise legal funds. Yeah, that's the thing too. It's like, I was asking my cousin this. I'm like, why is it so easy for like St. Jude and and I know that they're very established. I'm not saying that. But why is it so easy for some nonprofits to raise millions of dollars, and some nonprofits it may seem like it's you know, you work so much.
We don't even know who do we go to. How can we get as big as Feed the Hungry or where do we get the funds? And that, again, it goes to the knowledge that they provide.
That's the thing. That's the thing, because every year, and this is just what I had in my mind, because this is the 5th annual law camp. I thought, let me do it myself because nobody else is going to help, and I don't know. And I didn't do the research that I needed to do. This year, I ended up doing research, and then I'm going to get way more funding, but it's going to be at the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? So next camp, we're going to have way more. Like right now, we're basically at 4,000 straight from the community, which shows that our community knows how important this is. That's a lot of money to me from people donating. So next time, like basically now that I do have the knowledge, honestly, there are a lot of community funds and things, but you have to have the time. So I run a whole law firm and I have family that I take care of. I do a lot of things. So it's like, you have to find the way and find the time and find the resources to even look for these different opportunities, to even apply for them, and then to be able to staff. So it's a lot of structural things that come into play. But now that I understand, so it's called Just Us system because it's saying it's just us. Now that I understand funding a little bit more, and I'm not like so nervous to ask for help for the kids, I think next year will be very more lit.
Awesome. Well, I would love to help out any way I can, and I'll be donating shortly. And my name is Shanita Benz. I'm an activist as well as my daughter. She's 8. Her hair is not calm right now, so I'm gonna bring her camera.
Aww.
I wasn't even expecting to go on camera, you know.
Right.
It's an opportunity to encourage anyone, because sometimes it just gets overwhelming. It's like, you know, I'm just tired, and I've been through everything. So you name it, I've probably been through it. And my story, sometimes I get embarrassed when it's time to talk about my story, but I know that it's to help people, you know. So I don't mind, and I'm just sick of everything else. I'm sick of everything that's going on in our community, even with this COVID stuff. Why just Black people die the most? Like,
yeah, that's true. So make sure y'all follow her, y'all. You can go on there. It's Absolute Justice Now. And one thing that I was looking at, I was telling people who are watching, free other ways to donate for sure, but other ways that you can help the campus. You could post it and tell your people to donate, or you could share the GoFundMe link, or you could like it, you know, do different things like that. And next week is I'm gonna be on the timeline every day because we actually doing the camp next week. So when you see that, just share it, put some comments, do some encouraging words to the kids, and we're going to keep going. We want to stop police brutality. We want to help our community. This is one of many ways that Just Us system fights and resists. And this is an example of legal resistance. It's going against the grain of what people normally do, doing something totally different. Oh, looks like something happened. Thank you so much. She said we look good. Thank you. But yeah, it's going against the grain. So yes, we know. Sorry, I don't know what happened with that. Yes, we understand that when people go to prison, they go to prison far away on purpose. But let's get pen pals and let's get funds together. Like, that's what I mean by actively resisting. So you're resisting the way that the system is in a legal way, in a smart way, in a productive way, to the point where the system is non-existent. Like, when we get our systems in place, the police will be non-existent because people won't call them anymore. That's what I think abolition looks like. I don't think it's going to come from them. I think it's going to come from these people are literally not needed in our society anymore.
Right. Like they said, we protect us. So you're right. It's not going to come from them, because how do we know that? Because history repeats itself. They haven't helped us in over 400-something years. So what makes us think that they're going to help us now? Yeah,
like, it's not going to be a new law. Like I don't get excited when it's like, oh, this new law that tells the police this. The police been had laws and they don't follow their own laws. They don't follow their own rules. They go against the grain all the time. That's why police brutality, not even brutality, misconduct is so prevalent right now, because they keep doing it. Like, they keep doing it.
And they're so mad at what happened with the presidency election. They are so mad that they don't care that they're doing it. And they're doing it openly, you know, and they're doing it unapologetically. So, I mean, look at Dante Wright. Oh, we stopped. Oh, you know, and then they lie. I thought it was a taser. You know, I thought there was a taser. You know. I mean, come on.
It's a lie. But that's what I'm saying. When we hear it, we know it's a lie, right? But they try to tell us it's not a lie. But it's like, my grandparents went through this. Do they understand? My ancestors are descendants of slavery. Like, you can't lie and tell us that you thought that it wasn't a gun. Like the lady who walked into that man's apartment and killed him. I thought I was in the right apartment. Like, nobody believes it no more. Like, you know what I said? I said racism is boring now. Like y'all gotta come up with some new racism because the racism that y'all doing is very boring. It's very played out. We already know it's the same story. Like get rid of it.
Right. And it's the norm now for us. Like we already know. And the George Floyd conviction, that was just, let me go ahead and do this, because if not, they're really gonna act the fool. They already got away without charging the officers for Breonna Taylor.
That was sick.
How can you not charge the officer that killed them? She was in her home.
They charged this man. They gonna charge this man for shooting the property of a neighbor, as opposed to charging for killing her. And you know the sickest thing, we kept seeing her face and seeing her body and seeing her all over just for that to happen. And they knew that was gonna happen. They knew that was gonna happen, and that's something that hurt. They knew that was gonna hurt us psychologically, emotionally. That day when he announced that it wasn't gonna happen, I knew it wasn't gonna happen, but seeing it hurt. It just hurts.
Yeah, it hurt. It's devastating. And you know what? That's PTSD. That's generational trauma that we have. Okay.
Yes.
So you wonder, talking about how this person go and kill up the family and the neighbor because he's traumatized. You don't know what all that man went through. Not justifying it at all. There's no reason to take someone's life that you didn't grant them. But I'm saying that there's trauma,
Yeah.
There's not,
Yeah, and I think that it's a lot of different psychological. So I'm in the legal profession where they'll come up with a new psychological issue to explain what certain people do, but they don't come up with it to explain what we're going through. And I bet that you, by the age of 18, you went through more trauma than your non-Black counterparts. Me, by the age of 18, I definitely did. By the age of 25, definitely did. I'm 30 now, absolutely. Like these are things that we're expected, which expectations means that if we don't, then it's something wrong with us. We're expected to take it on the chin and to keep moving and to let it not affect our lives, even though all of this stuff has been happening. Like I said, generational. My grandma went through this growing up in Mississippi, my mama, and now me, and my great-grandparents and great-great-grandparents. These are things that the government, we can't expect them to fix because they don't want to fix it. It's really going to come from us. And I do think that we need to get very clear on our demands on what we want. Like I said, I don't want new police laws. Y'all can keep that. Keep it.
I don't want that.
And they haven't given it to us anyway. I mean, after all that hooping and hollering and all that black boxes, we haven't got one piece of legislation to end police brutality specifically for Black people. Black people haven't got one piece of legislation.
You know what happened though? I bet that when it happened with the Asians in Atlanta, they already have the Asian Act.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of it, but
yeah, I forgot the name of it too, but yeah.
Into law immediately for them.
Yes. Yeah.
It hasn't done anything. We got the George Floyd Policing Act that's pending. We got
That's what I should have called this. She just went. She talked about the George Floyd Policing Act. And one thing about these acts, I'm not sold on them because they don't change anything. I don't like, so let me tell you a little bit about me. I'm not the type of woman who likes things to look pretty. I know there might be a shock, but I don't like things that look pretty on the outside, but not pretty on the inside. So don't give me a cute title. Don't give me a cute title to a new law without giving me the actual work that goes with it. And I think that the George Floyd Act that they're pushing is not enough work being done. It's not enough accountability being done. And it's not enough reflection. I don't think they know what the real problem is. And I don't think that they know how to solve it. And that's why we need more Black lawyers like ours at our Future Lawyers Camp. Because to be honest, these people don't have the range. They don't have the range to fix these problems, and they don't have the range to actually do the work to make the change. If you don't do the work to make the change, you're going to revert back. No matter how many black boxes people put on Instagram, no matter how many declarations of Black Lives Matter, it's going to take work, day-to-day work, and it's going to have to decenter the dominant society and center the people who understand this problem and who have a genuine passion to fix it. In case you haven't noticed, I've been on live today for 6 hours. I have a passion for this. Every single dollar that we raise is going directly to these kids. And every single seed that we plant into these kids is going to help society. It's a direct correlation. It's not one day it's going to help. No, it helps right now. And this is, like I said, this is only one thing that we do. There's several other things that we do. Go and follow us at www.justussystem.org. And make sure, like I said, you go ahead and donate to that GoFundMe because, like I said, everything is going to help these kids. And follow me because it's so many more things that are coming from my end that are going to directly help this problem. And I just want to reiterate for the last hour, the reason for this is freedom, is justice, is equity. The reason for me doing this, the reason, like, I wanted to have fun earlier because it's hours long and I wanted to get people on. But let's be very, very, very clear about my purpose that I've been walking since, I would say, the age of 17, but really since the age of 5. I know why I became an attorney, and it's not just to help one person get out of jail or 2 people get out of jail. It's to change an entire community. And I believe that the way that we do that is by touching others and spreading it. I can only do so much in my 24 hours. But if we're able to nurture 100 new Black lawyers that have that same vigor, now what? They're going to nurture 100. They're going to nurture 100. You can't stop it. So it's very, very important. It's very important. It's dire. We are in a Black legal crisis right now. We are in a Black legal crisis right now. Police brutality, mass incarceration, and racial discrimination is the number one crisis right now. COVID-19 is our crisis because we're affected by it due to racism, maternal health, racism, disability, education. It's just everything. It goes back on our end to racism, and that's why I'm here. Let's be clear. So thank y'all for sitting with me for 6 hours on a Saturday. I appreciate it so much. I think our community is very strong. I believe in our community. I would never, ever talk down on our community or hate our community because of what people say that we should be doing. I know what we do on a day-to-day basis. I know what we do. I know what we sacrifice in order to live in this state, in this country. I know the hurt. I know going to sleep with that heavy heart. I understand that. And you know, one other thing, these parents, they always appreciate me. You talk to these parents, they know what I'm doing for their kids. And they also know that they need that break. School is starting right now. Don't stop supporting the kids. Don't stop. Go to some games, pay somebody's food, whatever. Just help. Just all of us just need to help each other. I'm on some straight love community stuff. Oh, she said thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming on. All right, y'all. It's 6:30. We did it.